Welcome to the third edition of UTA News. I'm Reginald Adatula.
And I'm Mariana Alvarez. Thank you for being with us.
Today we'll bring you a professor whose research seeks to better understand the software issues in cyber-physical systems.
We get to know a little bit more about the new Dean of College of Liberal Arts.
We'll give you the details about the concert the UTA Jazz Band had at Levitt Pavilion.
And in sports, we have all the information, the new golf scholarship. UTA News starts now.
Campus carry will take effect August 1st of 2016, which allows license holders to carry concealed handguns on campus. The university's Campus Carry Committee will hold several town hall meetings this semester. Chair of the Campus Carry Committee, John Hall, proctored the first meeting earlier this afternoon in the Bluebonnet Ballroom. The community was invited to express any concerns prior to the committee drafting provisions considered by the UT System Board of Regents.
They've reached out to student organizations, to student leaders who can kind of relay this information to anyone who's not available to go to town halls, but they've also, with the town halls, opened up to a whole variety of students. Anyone can come in, anyone can ask their questions. There's no screening process, so it's really a raw moment.
The next town hall meeting will take place on September 30th in the Lone Star Auditorium at the MAC at 4 p.m. The meetings are open to anyone who would like to attend.
It's been a year since 43 students from Ayotzinapa, Guerrero, Mexico disappeared and their parents received no answers from the government. UTA hosted an Ayotzinapa film to remember this tragedy. Ariane Hernandez brings us the reaction of UTA students.
Quisiera darle a mi pueblo lo que algún día ellos me dieron, pues saber escribir y leer, seguirle aportando, porque pues un maestro es algo, un pilar muy grande en la sociedad.
Even though it has passed more than a year of the disappearance of the 43 students, the feeling of harm is the same as the first day they went lost.
Duele porque está pasando y apenas estamos haciendo algo para que sepan todo el mundo de lo que está pasando.
Because no one is giving them the answers they're looking for or what happened and where they at. UTA hosts an event where the Ayotzinapan show a film relating some of the testimonies of the students and people related to the 43 students. The reaction of the UTA students were heartbreaking. Here are some of the reactions.
It brings anger. To me, it brought anger. Because it's so unfair. I mean, you have people trying to move forward, trying to contribute to the nation, and then you're basically killing off that future.
Tengo 23 años. Algunos de esos muchachos tenían 19. Tenían menor edad que yo cuando les pasó esto. Y algo que pasa así no debería estar pasando, y mucho menos en una escuela o a estudiantes que están estudiando por una carrera que quieren seguir en el futuro para mejorarlo y la sociedad también.
UTA News, Ariane Hernandez.
Fall has finally arrived, and that means it's testing season. Just as the leaves begin to turn, some students have a change of heart when it comes to cheating. Sean Fuller has more on the story.
Studying for a test is essential to making a good grade, but if you arrive on the day of the exam unprepared, you may consider alternative means. While cheating may seem harmless, some students realize cutting corners can have dire consequences.
Academic integrity is very important in our major because we're going to be building airplanes, bridges, stuff that people are going to fly on, and if we cheat on our exams and don't know what we're talking about, people will simply die.
Others think the issue isn't black and white, but acknowledge the gray area can bleed into your identity.
I would say an interesting fact about that is something that you want to feel unique to you, you probably wouldn't cheat on, because being, plagiarized of other people's words, it lowers your uniqueness.
While opinions among students vary, faculty at UTA all share the same stance. That is why the honor code is included in every syllabus and can be found on UTA's website. Students are routinely exposed to it, and it clearly defines the staff's expectations.
I think that's the case with syllabi in general. It's sort of putting out in stone this is what we expect of you, and in case they ever, come back and say, hey, I didn't know, yes, you did.
Within the University Center, the Office of Community Standards reinforces this mentality by taking examples of misconduct and teaching faculty members how to prevent them.
I can identify issues that are going on maybe with one particular college or department and then relay that to others where they may not have seen it themselves, but that it's a way to kind of raise the bar on how to address this across the board.
Students often take cheating lightly because it can occur in an instant, but is often the result of a much larger issue.
I don't believe that those were the first bad decisions they ever made. That decision making it's a habit, and it's something that you really need to practice to be able to make better decisions. And academic integrity is part of that.
So to avoid this moral dilemma in the future, you will need to make better choices now. Sean Fuller, UTA News.
If you would like tips on how to improve your study habits, stop by the Office of Community Standards in the basement of the UC.
The struggle is real when it comes to software issues. Taylor Johnson, assistant professor of computer science and engineering, received a grant of almost $100,000 to develop a 2-year-long investigation, malfunctions of cyber-physical systems.
With technology evolving at a quick pace, Taylor Johnson, computer science engineering professor of UTA, believes it is just as important to understand the basics of the softwares that run them.
Through this project, we're looking at a variety of issues in cyber-physical systems, particularly software defects that can show up in cyber-physical systems.
Things as simple as phones, computers, cars, and even airplanes have bugs in their softwares that Professor Johnson, with his team of graduate students, will dedicate the next years to research.
In many industries, a primary reason now for defects is actually due to software defects in those systems.
But the bugs go well beyond technological issues. A report of the FDA qualified software malfunctions as the main reason for medical device recalls, an issue that can put someone's life at risk.
The FDA has classifications of how severe recalls are into classes 1, 2, and 3. So this was tied with manufacturing defects. So typically manufacturing defects have been a main reason for recalls, but now software design defects are essentially as important. And it just has to do with we have software in everything. This problem has been around for decades, and that's partly why it hasn't been totally addressed. I mean, in reality, to try to address this issue in sort of realistic systems that might have millions of lines of source code involved in the software, it's an extremely challenging problem.
Although this is basic research, Taylor hopes to reach fundamental understanding and influence software and engineering processes in order to have safer cyber-physical systems. Brenda Gonzalez, UTA News.
Although the grant is for 2 years, the results of the research can benefit software engineers for decades.
Arlington hosted the annual Walk for Autism Awareness.
With over $220,000 raised for Autism Speaks, family and friends united to honor loved ones and raise awareness. With a petting zoo outside the stadium, Globe Life Park hosted the 11th annual Walk for Autism in the DFW. Engineer Kevin Goslin reminds everyone that autism spectrum is larger than most think, and it needs a little understanding.
Is that we have to remember that autism is not specific, and our children are like snowflakes. Everyone's different. You can't approach them the same way you approach other ones, and each one's different, and you got to remember that.
The hall's filled with people at the resource booth for information on local services and to grab a souvenir. Clown Poise did some balloon sculpting while supporting the organization.
We're doing this event for our alley. We have an alley, which is our clubs. And so we do this as volunteer stuff.
Children also enjoyed face painting and pictures with the clowns. Live bands opened the ceremony to kick off the event. With so much going on, a quiet room was designated for those who just needed to get away for a minute. With dim lights and a beautiful scenery of the stadium, it's no surprise why they chose Capital One Club as a quiet room, where anyone with oversensory load can come in, relax, and unwind. Back at the event, characters from Star Wars made yet another appearance this year for everyone to enjoy. As the walk reached its starting time, family and friends gathered to walk for the greater cause. Chants, cheers, and signs honoring the loved ones filled the 3/4 mile walk at the Globe Life Park Stadium. It left me with one question to ask. Who do you walk for?
I walk for Hannah.
Sonia Garcia, UTA News.
To learn more about autism, visit autismspeaks.com. Now we have Maria, who's going to tell us what stories she has for us in our new segment, COLA at 50. Maria?
Hi, Reggie and Maddie. We'll introduce you to the new Dean of College of Liberal Arts when we come back.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome to Call at 50, where you can keep up with all the events and news that are currently going on at the College of Liberal Arts. I am Maria Murillo. In today's segment, we will take a look at this weekend's jazz performance, and we have an exclusive interview with the new dean.
50 years at UTA, and still many students are unaware of the amounting opportunities COLA has to offer within its majors that include the humanities, fine arts, and social sciences.
Here for over half of those 50 years, so I have seen a whole lot of change in the college and the universities. And the university as a whole. I think the convenience for the college comes in when students either are outside the college and they want to major within the college. There's a huge variety of majors from which they can choose. But it also involves some flexibility for students who are in the college and want a minor and a major in the college. We have a lot more diverse student body. Programs reflect that diversity, so we have programs in women's and gender studies within the college now. We have programs in African American studies, for example. We have programs in, we have a center for Mexican American studies that we didn't have.
The Movin' Mavs at UTA brought newcomer Christy to Texas from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Wanted to look into it. I don't think I'm going to declare my major until sophomore year because I want to try all sorts of different things this year. And then.
Jessica Ojeda, UTA News.
If you're struggling about which path to follow for your college career, make an appointment with your department's counselor where they will be able to guide you. The UTA Jazz Orchestra held a performance at the Levitt Pavilion on Sunday. Here's Austin with the story.
Countless hours of preparation led up to this moment. The UTA Jazz Orchestra played along with pianist Stefan Carlson to perform for the Arlington community this past Sunday. Much preparation was made prior to the event.
Ever since the semester started, we've rehearsed every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 4 to 5:30. And outside of that, we also have our own individual preparation on our own time, and then even more so, we also prepare as sections whenever we can.
The band only meets 3 times a week, so it's quite a bit of music and it's quite a bit of logistics going on and getting the students back in the swing of things for the fall semester. So this concert comes up, so we really don't have too much time. It's kind of a short preparation period.
It is here at the Levitt Pavilion where the UT Arlington Jazz Orchestra will play for people in and around the Arlington community.
Our turnout is really good this year. We are over 100,000 for the entire year, which began for us back at Memorial Day weekend. People drive from all over to come to our concerts. Far North Dallas, within 50 or 60 miles. So we always have a really good turnout, and everybody who comes out has a great time.
The community who came out was treated to a concert filled with jazz. Pieces were selected based on the guest performers, including the UTA Jazz Alumni Orchestra, saxophonist Jim Riggs, and pianist Stefan Carlson. The UTA Jazz Orchestra concluded the night. Guests were able to enjoy this free concert filled with jazz under the eclipse moonlight. In Arlington, I'm Austin Wynn, UTA News.
Make sure to visit music.uta.edu for more information for upcoming performances. The new Dean of College of Liberal Arts believes UTA has to be more diversified and to reach out to all regardless of social or economic status.
In graduate school, I studied both social sciences or sociology.
UTA welcomes Dr. Paul Wong as the new dean of the College of Liberal Arts. Dr. Wong arrives from San Diego State University, but not only has he worked in the United States, he also worked in universities around the world, like China, Hong Kong, Japan, among others.
It has been a very, very fortunate career for me.
One of the things Dr. Wong is passionate about is providing access to education.
Throughout my career, I have worked with not only universities, but also K-12 schools too, to see how the universities can work with the K-12 schools to both benefit.
As well as opening doors to minority groups.
That created African American Studies, Chicano Studies, Asian American Studies, and Native American Studies. And I became the first director of Asian American Studies at Berkeley.
And not only that, but Dr. Wong also worked to develop education with the Native American group.
I worked closely with the Navajo Nation to help them in terms of reforming the school system.
With a high cost in education, Dr. Wong wants to make sure those with disadvantaged backgrounds and first-time generation students have access to that education.
I think the aspiration of young people to get a college education is greater than ever before.
To achieve these goals, first he has to hear what the Mavericks have to say.
I want to have a lot of interaction with the students to get their feedback, and so that we know how we can continue to improve the college.
So what Dr. Wong thinks of UTA so far?
I enjoy it every moment.
UTA News, Froy Guerrero.
Dean Wong plans on meeting with some of the university's organizations to design a plan and improve student involvement. If you want to follow up on more of COLA at 50, make sure to check out the stories at uta.edu/LIBarts. When we come back, we'll tell you all about the new ways the university is trying to contact you through social media. Stay tuned.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks. School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%. To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Who doesn't have a Facebook account, Twitter, or Instagram?
Shelley Wigley was the first faculty member to teach a strategic social media class, and with the help of her students, came up with the idea of UTA Social. Different social media channels not officially affiliated with UTA that students take over in order to address one common student issue.
Let's make this about making UTA more social, because what I hear from students is that sometimes is that there's not much of a community presence. There's not much of a community on campus unless you live here.
The program initially started with Facebook and Twitter, but Instagram and a blog were soon added to the group, along with another platform that spices up the mix.
Since UTA Social has started the Snapchat account, you get all kinds of behind-the-scenes things that are going on across campus. I mean, here in the Fine Arts Building, we're stuck over here. If we don't have classes over there, we don't know what's going on in front of the library mall or at the UC for that day.
Ryan Garr is in the middle of the week-long social takeover project. He makes sure his group is up to date with all the analytics that go on behind the scenes.
I go out every night and find the impressions, find the clicks, find who retweeted what, get all that information into the spreadsheet, and then have formulas set up so that it'll generate charts and graphs on how our posts are doing depending on what time of the day it was posted, what platform it's on.
Ryan says the best times to post are lunchtime and dinner time. If you want to check out the program, just look for UTA Social on your social media platforms. UTA News, Maria Cruz.
It's that time of the year again. Print out your resumes and get your suits ready, because the All Majors Job Fair is here. Nancy Salas has more details.
The Fall 2015 All Majors Job Fair, hosted by the Career Development Center, will be held September 29th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Maverick Activities Center, better known as the MAC. The Career Center Assistant Director, Nikki Dickens, suggests students to take advantage of such event.
I think it's a great opportunity for students to come out and network and explore what different career options are out there, what companies are hiring, even if you're not looking for a job right now.
The job fair is for currently enrolled UT Arlington students and alumni seeking part-time and full-time positions and internships. Nikki shares some helpful tips for the big day.
Professional attire, so a business suit for men and women, and bring plenty of copies of your resume. You might want to research the companies ahead of time and have some notes about some of the different companies that you're interested in talking to at the job fair.
Recruiters from over 150 companies will be available to discuss career opportunities within their company, such as GM Financial, Texas Ranger Baseball Club, and many more. UTA News, Nancy Salas.
For more information about the Fall 2015 Job Fair or upcoming events, contact the Career Development Center with any questions at 817-272-2932 or visit www.uta.edu/careers. So tell me, Reggie, did you have a chance to see the lunar eclipse last night?
Just barely, but let's take a look at what let's take a look at what happened at the planetarium during the eclipse with Landon Hearn.
So as to avoid
the UTA Planetarium hosted hundreds of students and families from across the area during their lunar observation event Sunday night. Though the eclipse only lasted an hour of the night, the events available to participate in were widely varied.
Today we're out observing the total lunar eclipse. We'll be here until midnight tonight with discounted planetarium shows, free lectures, and observations of the moon.
The event also featured information sessions and interactive demonstrations focused on the moon, courtesy of volunteer advocates from the National Space Society of North Texas.
Just make sure you got some good light. Shine it down on that. Hold this right up to your eye. And move this up a little close to it. And then come into focus.
Before and after the eclipse, guest lecturer Ken Ruffin spoke to crowds of attendees about the interesting qualities of the moon.
Most people here have probably been on road trips out to what would be the edge of the moon from here in Dallas. We're going to be about where that crater is right there. And Dallas was a crater in the TV movie Asteroid.
When the sun had sufficiently set, guests began to go up onto the third-floor observation deck in order to get a better look at the lunar rarity.
We're going to see over the next couple of hours the moon is going to slowly turn kind of a bloody red color. This is due to the moon passing behind Earth's shadow. So as sunlight passes through Earth's atmosphere, it kind of refracts it, turning red, just like a sunset. And that red light is actually being projected onto the surface of the moon and reflected back to us.
This weekend's blood moon was the last in a series of 4 lunar eclipses, but with the next super blood moon not predicted until the year 2033, this night is sure to be one to remember. For UTA News, I'm Landon Hearn.
Thank you, Landon. Now we'll take a quick break and come back with more news.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
There's a new exhibit in the University Center Gallery. A team of UT Arlington students created works of art to support a growing movement.
Black Lives Matter is a movement trending across the nation centered around police brutality within the Black community. A group of UT Arlington students put together an exhibit to illustrate what the Black Lives Matter movement is and what it stands for. The host of the exhibit, Nadajala Bennett, says that the purpose is to increase awareness of what is going on in the Black community right now.
So the Black Lives Matter Gallery's purpose here on campus is just to educate people and allow them to become aware of some of the things that spearheaded this movement, as well as see the causes and effects it has on some of the families and our local community here in Arlington with the death of Christian Taylor.
One of the exhibit's feature artists, Carrie DeKay, contributed a photograph that represents what the Black Lives Matter movement means to her.
I actually went to high school with Christian Taylor, which is probably the most recent big name that has sparked the internet. But I was trying to figure out how I could give back to the movement in the best way that I knew how to, and that's through my artwork. For the hands, I use my father's hands. So it really mattered to me to use someone in my family that could possibly have this happen to them. It's not just Black people saying Black Lives Matter anymore. It's the whole human race saying these lives matter.
The exhibit featured a variety of photographs, paintings, posters, and tweets that carried the Black Lives Matter hashtag. The importance of this exhibit is that it allows the diverse student body here at UT Arlington to stand together as one and treat everyone equally. Landry Ledbetter, UTA News.
The exhibit will run through Friday, October 2nd in the University Center Gallery.
Did you know that there's also a gallery in the Fine Arts Building?
No, I did not.
Well, it's the gallery at UTA, and it's having a special exhibition this semester to showcase the different artwork donated by professional artists.
The gallery at UTA is having an exhibit to display the unique pieces UTA has collected over the years from different professional artists.
At UTA, exhibits is work by contemporary artists. We have 4 shows that we curate a year, and then we have 2 Bachelor of Fine Arts exhibits and 1 Master of Fine Arts exhibits at the end of the spring semester.
The Gallery Advising Committee, along with Huerta, decides what's shown in the gallery. Huerta says that this gallery is unique and special and wants to display the university's collection to show the students and the public what UTA has to offer.
During the summer, we're technically closed, but we do have a Masters of Fine Arts exhibition that's up through the whole summer, although the hours are restricted to just a few hours simply because we don't have as many students come through. And the gallery is technically not open, but the art office is in control of the exhibition. In the work that we show, and usually they're contemporary living artists, and they work with ideas and materials and media in which a lot of our students are also working in, so we try to have a variety of work that is shown in the gallery as well.
If you'd like to visit the gallery, it is located on the first floor of the Fine Arts Building in room 114 across from Einstein's Bagels. With UTA News, this is Laura Ayala.
The engineering department's student enrollment continues to rise up and break records.
In fall 2014, the engineering department had over 6,000 students enrolled, while this year that number has skyrocketed to over 7,000 students enrolled. This equaled a 16.4% increase for the undergraduate, master's, and PhD programs. Engineering Dean Dr. Behbahani said between the 7 departments, 2 showed to be the most popular.
Our computer science and engineering, they have had the largest percentage of growth, and followed by the mechanical and aerospace engineering. They now, as a total population, are very close to each other.
To help attract younger students to the engineering department, once a month, student organizations meet with younger students to give mini lectures about engineering. Mavericks organization showed young students how to make water bottle rockets and launch them outdoors. I'm Jasmine Frumby, UTA News.
Dean Behbahani said he also credits the faculty members as well as the engineering department as factors for the department's growth. Now let's go to Jeremy Portales, who is live with Denise Avila to talk about students' resources. It seems like we're having some technical difficulties. The Mavs Go Green organization held its first orientation to discuss available positions and future volunteer events for the 2015 school year.
In a way to accommodate the students, pizza and refreshments were given to those who attended. Mavs Go Green president discussed available membership positions as well as upcoming volunteer events for the year of 2015. The organization focuses on raising awareness about the environmental issues that exist in our community and encouraging students to make environmentally friendly decisions.
EcoFest Arlington. So that's the event by
Throughout the
City of
year,
Arlington.
they do almost quite a few events.
It's almost one event per week. Last year we had 52 events. This year we have about 55 events planned. So we have enough for each and every volunteer. You can lead, you can co-lead, you can volunteer, or you can just be one of the spectators.
Current members were also at the orientation to share a couple of their Go Green experiences with the students. As the orientation came to an end, students received free water bottles, and during a raffle drawing, some won free Go Green t-shirts.
Sorry. 9957.
Nikita has been motivated to become a part of this Go Green organization because
love to work for the environment sustainability and being eco-friendly, and love to encourage people to do the same. So that is why I'm here, and I want to be a part of the Mavericks Go Green orientation.
Mari Alvarez at the UTA.
We're going to go back to Jeremy Portales to see if we can get a better connection.
Thanks, Reggie. I'm here live at the MAC with Denise at the Off-Campus Student Center.
Hi, I'm Denise Avila, and I'm the Student Success Coordinator for University College Programs.
All right, so we're here to talk about student resources. So the average student here at the University of Texas at Arlington, say I'm feeling a little ill-prepared for classes and need some extra time outside of class, what would you say?
If you need some tutoring, if you're feeling unsure about what the material that you're covering in class, we do have the physics clinic that's free of charge. We have the math clinic, we have the chemistry clinic, we have the writing center, second floor of the library, and these are free to students, and they can just walk in and receive free tutoring.
So for pretty much any major, we have some kind of service. Mm-hmm. Okay, nice. And what about if I'm still feeling like emotionally or drained? What could I do?
We do have the counseling and psychological services that is in the third floor of Ransom Hall, and they do have counseling for you that's free for students. I believe it's 6 sessions per semester that the students can get for free, and if they need extra tutoring, they can go ahead and book extra sessions.
So what if the psychologist, tells me to come here to the MAC? What do they have here for the MAC for students that need to unwind and get their workout on?
Well, included with your tuition, you get free entrance to the MAC, and you have access to all the machines and all of the equipment. But if you want to pay a little bit more for $30 a semester, we have exercise classes, we have yoga, we have Pilates, we have Zumba, and then we even have massages that are from 30 minutes to 90 minutes long, and you just have to pay for those.
Nice, nice. And so I'm going back to, I parked at lot 50, and I need some support. What could I do as a student?
Well, if you're feeling a little bit unsafe, sometimes when classes let out a little bit later, it gets dark and we get a little unsafe, you can call the UTA police, the non-emergency number. It is on the back of your UTA ID card, so you don't have to memorize that. And you can call them, and they will escort you for free to your car.
Nice. And say once I get to the parking lot, there's a flat tire. What could a student do with a flat tire?
Well, if you have a flat tire, we have the police officers, the UTA police are very friendly, and they're happy to help students. So you just let them know, and if they have the equipment in their car, they will help you right on the spot. But even still, it's good to let them know so that you don't have a disabled vehicle on campus and that you don't get ticketed for that.
So we have a series for this information and more. What could you tell us about that as the coordinator for that?
Yes, we do have the Student Success Series, and those are workshops that occur twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 1 at Pickard Hall. And, as a Student Success Coordinator, I'm just trying to get students to find out more about the resources that are available to students, and that's kind of the goal of the Success Series, to let students know what's available to them and make sure that they take full advantage of the resources that UTA has for them.
Some of these resources not a lot of students know about, so thank you, Denise, for that. If I needed some more information, is there somewhere I could call or email?
Yes, absolutely. We have the Maverick Resource Hotline, and the number for that is 817-272-6107, and you can just give them a call Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and we will answer all your questions. And we also have the email resources@uta.edu.
All right, thank you, guys. Now back to you, Reggie.
Thanks, Jeremy, for that insightful interview. Now we'll go across the studio to talk to Landon. Landon?
Stick around, we have all the information you need on UTA sports, including a new scholarship and an athlete profile on a member of the Moving Mavs. Coming up next.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back, I'm Landon Hearn, and I'm here to bring you this edition of UTA Sports. The UTA Athletics Department recently announced a scholarship for the women's golf program that will begin competition in the 2017-2018 school year. Reginald Adatula has the story.
UT Arlington's women's golf team is already receiving support. The Nancy Baker Memorial Scholarship for the soon-coming program was recently established by UTA Athletics Director Jim Baker.
I wanted to honor my wife, and I didn't think there would be a better fitting place than with the women's golf program.
Baker's late wife Nancy passed away in December of last year after a battle with cancer. Nancy may not have played golf herself,
but she loved being around the golf course, and she went to a lot of the golf tournaments here at UTA with me and followed the team and got to know the kids a little bit, and so I just felt that it just felt right.
Head golf coach Stuart Dean praised the establishment of the scholarship by Baker.
It's a testament to how much he cares about the athletic department in general.
The student athlete who receives the scholarship will have to tout a high GPA, a 3.5 for student athletes who are new to UTA, or a 3.0 for those who are returning. They'll also have to display an interest, if not a love, for education, just like Nancy.
Education was her life. Her dad was a professor at Ohio State, and her sister is a teacher, and her sister-in-law is a teacher, and so she loved education.
What that means is that through this scholarship and the student athletes it enables, Nancy's legacy will live on at UTA. And for Jim Baker,
it means a lot.
Reginald Adatula, UTA News.
The Baker family has committed a lead gift of $25,000 towards the scholarship. If you'd like to help grow the endowment fund or simply find out more about the scholarship, visit utamavs.com. UTA golf coach Stuart Dean is not just a coach, he's also a player. Reginald Adatula tells us more about his dual roles.
Just a little while ago, a Maverick golfer played on a major stage, but it wasn't a student athlete.
Stuart Dean made the birdie putt on their way to a 4-3 victory.
That's right. Head golf coach Stuart Dean competed with Team USA in the PGA Cup.
The PGA Cup was absolutely phenomenal. And I told the boys yesterday, I said, to kind of really be the other side of it. I was the teammate. So we don't get to experience that very often in professional golf. And I think it was really awesome for us to see.
And while seeing the player side of it has helped Dean understand his players, being a pro helps his players believe in him.
Part of the ability to play, well, really kind of gives you an instant credibility. They understand, we can kind of walk the walk as well as talk it, which I think is great. We don't necessarily have to prove ourselves as coaches.
That credibility gained by being a professional and playing in major tournaments is not only felt by Dean.
Knowing that our coaches, both of them are amazing players and just really accomplished and have a lot of experience, just gives us even more confidence and belief in what they're trying to teach us.
He passes down a lot of experience that he's been through and passes down to us a lot of hands-on experience, a lot of hands-on, so it's good, it's been good.
And so although this year's team is young and somewhat inexperienced,
everybody's pretty much a junior or less.
For their pro coach, confidence and experience is par for the course. Reginald Adatula, UTA News.
The Maverick golf team placed 8th last weekend in the Sun Belt Preview Tournament, their first of the year. They'll have a chance to right the ship next weekend in the Cabo del Sol Invitational in Destin, Florida. You may wonder, how did some of the moving Mavs players get to where they are today? Maria Murillo has an insight on one of their star players.
Life certainly has a lot of difficulties, but there are some of us who, with a strong enough willpower, can overcome these.
Orlando Carrillo is a very athletic and motivated student. You can find him training at the MAC or practicing with his basketball team. But before he got to where he is today, Orlando had a very difficult experience in Venezuela that changed the course of his life.
I got paralyzed in July of 2006 due to a gunshot. I was involved in a kidnap attempt. They tried to kidnap me, leaving my house. So I was leaving my house, and I tried to get away, and I got shot on the attempt. Since then, I've been paralyzed from my waist down, and that's how I got in the wheelchair.
Despite the physical and psychological trauma that the kidnapping caused on Orlando, he was able to push himself and overcome these difficulties to go on with his life.
It took me a while, just to make a plan of how I was going to approach things, and because it was something new to me, and as I discovered things I was able to do, it encouraged me more to just keep working hard and keep just having a regular life.
Orlando acquired experience in basketball in Venezuela at a very young age. He first started when he was 8 years old, and since then continued his journey through high school and college. This dedication gave him enough confidence to put his skills to work with basketball on wheels after his accident, and then perfect them when he joined the Miami Heat. Orlando is now a player for the UTA Moving Mavs and says he has loved his experience. UTA News, Maria Murillo.
If you would like to follow Orlando's everyday path with the Moving Mavs, make sure to check out his Instagram where you can keep up with all his daily activities. UTA has a professor who has a professional sports history and a unique perspective on sports.
The Dallas Wheelchair Mavericks were established in 1972 and since have won 13 NWBA championships. UTA kinesiology professor Dr. Abu Yilla was a part of that legacy. Before playing in the NWBA, he moved to America to play for UTA's Movin' Mavs team. He was also on the track team, winning a national title in the 100 meters and helping the team to a record-setting 4x100 meters. He also represented both the U.S. and Britain in the Paralympic Games. He feels he has a unique perspective to bring to American students as he moved from England.
I'm an advocate for making the sports table wider.
At UTA, he teaches adaptive physical education and sport, research methods, and sociology of sport.
Which is fun because I can bring my different perspective to the table and get people thinking about the culture they're living in.
He says the major difference in sport in America and in England is...
It's the idea that winning is everything. And second is the first loser. I really feel that we lose the value of sport when we take that approach.
Sport can be defined in many ways, but according to Dr. Yilla,
sport is a way to maximize your human spirit.
Whether professional, collegiate, or recreational, sport can be a way to express yourself and to grow, only if you allow it to. Rachel Speaker, UTA News.
Dr. Yilla teaches kinesiology classes that are also offered as upper-level electives if you need one next semester. And that is all we have today in UTA Sports. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out for summer. What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%. To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org because great things happen when we live united.
Artists such as Tritonal celebrate when starting a new tour. But for Tritonal, music isn't the only thing to celebrate about.
September is a busy month for Tritonal. This month, they headline a tour with Cash Cash, the Untouchable Tour 2015. It has been a long road for Tritonal, but they let us know also how the industry has changed since they first started recording.
A lot of people used to really hardcore associate with like one thing,
and like only listen to that. And sure, there's some of that still. And I feel like people's playlists and their just perceptions of music in general are broader, and they have all kinds of stuff in the mix.
To evolve with music, they even considered making changes like adding live instrumentation.
I think live instrumentation is still kind of sick, and I feel like we do lack that. Because now everyone DJs. Now everyone's up there, like, my grandma's up there DJing,
They also want to do something for the community. After seeing a famous BuzzFeed post about a soldier who lost all of his limbs in Afghanistan, they decided to help fund him by making the Glow Stick 5K. Why deciding on a 5K instead of funding directly?
Like, we're blessed, like, we're out here making money, doing what we love, and, for us to, run a 5K or a 10K or whatever, like, that's not a lot to ask.
The Bomb Factory was their first stop in their 41-city tour, where they're planning to run 15 5Ks, where they hope that everyone will donate so they can help somebody in special need. James Belknap, UTA News.
The Flight 12 Improv
For more
Troupe puts on
information
4
or
main
to
shows
donate,
here throughout the school
you can visit their website at glowstick5k.com. To know about locations about the Untouchable Tour, visit untouchabletour.com.
The first theater improv show this semester was a huge success. Reporter Thomas Host has the story.
The Flight 12 Improv Troupe puts on 4 main shows here throughout the school year, and being a part of the ensemble has made a real impact on its students.
I'm gonna need all of it. Rotate right. Stop right up.
All the world's a stage for the UTA Flight 12 Improv Troupe.
You plus me equals right. I'm here to feed the polar bears, right? Is that what we hear?
I think it's so much fun. You get to be way more creative. You get to really work on different skill sets. You can be as outrageous as you want to be.
The troupe has solidified a solid bond as a unit, but are each growing individually as people throughout this experience.
Curtains, all you see is like a head.
It's opened me up a lot. I'm not afraid to just jump in with ideas, even outside of improv. I'm more open and a more free, fun person because of it. It makes life more enjoyable, more like a joke.
Flight 12 has taken off smoothly this semester in hopes to keep the momentum going. After all, isn't laughter the best medicine?
I'm telling you, toilet paper, totally okay. Use it as clothes, it's fine.
Thomas Host, UTA News.
The next 2 shows will be February 5th and 6th at 8 p.m. Go to uta.edu/theater for ticket information.
I'm excited about attending one of those shows, Reggie.
Yeah, I am too. And with that, we get to the end of our newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Reggie Atatula, and we'll see you next time.
And I'm Mari Alvarez. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook as UTA News. And to find these and other stories, go to our website, utanews.com.